In today's very advanced modern world, some individuals out there believe that self-defense is now redundant. There are some individuals that believe that because we now live in such modern and peaceful times, where justice is prevalent and violence is less common, that self-defense and the benefits of it are now no longer needed and required today. Some of these individuals actually have this mentality that the world today is very safe and that nothing wrong can occur during our day-to-day lives. But how true is this ideology? Is the modern world a safer place to live? Are we now as a species so peaceful and advanced that the chance of physical violence amongst one another has been eradicated? The answer is obviously no. There are individuals and forces out there in the world who possess and radiate negativity. There are individuals out there who do not care who you are and what you stand for. There are individuals out there who want nothing for others but everything for themselves. Unlike you and me, these types of people will do anything to get what they want, even if it means causing harm and damage against others. How many times do you see on social media or maybe even in person of some horrible individual looking for trouble and attacks a person who can't defend themselves? Whether it's at school by a bully or out on the streets by a stranger, the physical harm that can occur can be one thing, like a few bruises, but the mental harm that can occur to the victim can be huge and lifelong. It can cause such a devastating domino effect in their lives that the future is jeopardized. Imagine that was you. Imagine that you right now, who doesn't know how to fight and defend yourself, gets attacked on the street by an aggressive stranger. You don't know what to do and are terrified. You don't know how to throw a punch and you don't know how to wrestle this guy down because you believed that self-defense wasn't for you and it wasn't necessary for the modern world. There are other people around watching, but they're not doing anything. They're just watching because they're too afraid to intervene because they also don't know how to fight and defend themselves or defend anyone else. So you can't rely on any of these people who are watching and you're on your own. No one's got your back. I guarantee you at that moment you will completely regret being arrogant and incompetent and would wish that you knew how to fight. After getting attacked, you will probably sustain some form of pain or injury, perhaps some bruising only. A lot of the time the physical stuff will heal over time. Your bruises and cuts, if you sustain any, shouldn't take too long to heal. But unfortunately our minds do not heal themselves as fast as our bodies do, especially if you've been assaulted for the first time. Minds are far more fragile compared to our bodies, but we tend to overthink and overanalyze situations that have caused some great deal of discomfort and harm. It lingers in your mind no matter what you do to try to get over it, but that feeling of terror, regret, pain and humiliation is something that is extremely hard to get over. Your self-esteem and self-worth could potentially drop so low that they could end up in a position where they no longer want to leave the safety of your home in the fear of being attacked again. This could lead you to staying away from social situations out of fear and anxiety, causing you to slowly lose your social skills more and more and then eventually miss out on a good life with friends and acquaintances and even a romantic partner. The way you interact with members of the public will be different than before. Even the way you walk down the street can be affected. You just become a shell of your former self, and this will be apparent and obvious to everyone around you. And unfortunately, the world we live in can also be a very judgmental place. People will only need a glimpse of something or someone and will immediately assume. They wouldn't know if you're someone who has been a victim of assault. It's not like you carry around a badge or have a sign on your back that says you have been. But they will see and notice the way you walk. Chest sunken in, shoulders slumped forward, head down, short and quick strides when you're walking, etc. Like I said before, it's a judgmental world and people will judge you based on that. So they may treat you badly or try to take advantage of you because you've given them the perception that you're defenseless and won't stand up for yourself. But you might think to yourself, okay, that might not be too bad. You could probably tolerate all that if you're left alone. There's more to it as well. Walking around public in a certain way can get the attention of the wrong kinds of people. A lot of crazy and psychopathic people seek out their next victim by simply watching how they're walking in public. You don't believe this? Hear this. Shortly before the execution of serial killer and rapist Ted Bundy, who committed around 30 homicides during the 1970s, admitted that he could tell a victim just based on how they walked down the street, the way they tilt their head, the manner of the person carry themselves. And when he eventually finds someone with a weak body posture, he'll start targeting them. And this isn't just exclusive to Ted Bundy alone. A study by academic psychologists based at Brock University, Ontario, Canada, and Westfield State University, Massachusetts, USA, has investigated whether psychopaths are skilled in decoding such body language, giving them an advantage in selecting easy victims. This skill appears to be part of the adeptness at deceiving, manipulating, and exploiting others. The study, entitled Psychopathy and Victim Selection: The Use of Gait as a Cue to Vulnerability, used a sample of violent prison inmates and found that these offenders were indeed more practiced in paying attention to body language clues relating to attack susceptibility. Psychopathic offenders were found to be more likely to mention gait as a reason for the assessment of target vulnerability. I'll leave the link for the full article in the description below. If that's not enough evidence and reasoning for you to not learn self-defense and become strong, I don't know what will. Learning to defend yourself is one of the most vital aspects of living in this society, and I promise you that there will come a time where you'd wish you knew how to. Whether it's defending yourself, your friends, or most important of all, your family. There's nothing worse for someone not being able to defend their own family, and if that doesn't motivate you, then I don't know what will. Learn self-defense before it's too late.